The war in Ukraine, now grinding into its fourth year, remains far from a bilateral struggle. Kyiv continues to benefit from a wide coalition of support from Western and pro-Western countries, whose provision of modern equipment, often NATO-grade, has helped it resist Russian advances. Russia, on the other hand, has a much shorter list of public allies. Currently, the most visible provider of military support to Moscow is North Korea, a country whose contribution to Russia's arsenal is growing in both volume and visibility. What began with the introduction of North Korea's Gushin cannon, a mainstay artillery piece, has now evolved into a broader influx of hardware. A recent trove of images leaked online by Russian soldiers shows an array of field equipment with origins traced back to North Korean factories. Among the weapons spotted were familiar Cold War-era systems, AK-47 assault rifles and RPG-7 rocket launchers, both staples of irregular warfare for decades. Also appearing in photos was a weapon immediately recognizable to military historians, a 107mm multiple rocket launcher, arranged in 3 rows of 4 tubes each, reminiscent of the Chinese Type 63. In addition to this system, observers noted the presence of a 60mm mortar, a caliber not currently in service with Russia's military. Moscow's forces typically deploy mortars of 82mm and above, having previously dismissed 60mm units as lacking in lethality. This unusual sighting strongly suggests the weapon was imported. Based on visual analysis, the mortar resembles China's Type 63 model, but closer inspection reveals it to be a North Korean-produced copy. During the Cold War, North Korea reverse-engineered several Chinese weapons, including the Type 63 rocket launcher and mortar. The North Korean versions were dubbed the Type 75 for the rocket launcher, though the mortar's local designation remains unclear. These systems have long been in service with the Korean People's Army and now, it appears, with Russia as well. What's most notable is the changing nature of Russia's reliance on these weapons. North Korea is not just supplying missiles and large-caliber artillery shells, like the 150mm and 122mm rounds. It's also delivering smaller, lighter, more mobile systems like multiple rocket launchers and mortars. These low-cost and relatively simple weapons reflect a growing demand in Moscow for adaptable, field-ready solutions in a conflict that has become more entrenched than mobile. Indeed, the current state of warfare in Ukraine favors compact systems. Since 2023, Russia appears to have abandoned rapid breakthroughs in favor of a grinding war of attrition. Instead of attempting swift, large-scale offensives, Russian forces have settled into trench warfare, gradually seizing territory inch by inch. In this kind of battlefield, heavy artillery, while still important, is often too cumbersome and too exposed. Light weapons that can be moved quickly by infantry or small teams are much more suited to short, intense engagements across muddy, broken terrain. Yet Russia's military doctrine, rooted in Soviet traditions, was never designed for this kind of fighting. The Red Army's Cold War strategy emphasized high-power, mechanized systems intended for sweeping land battles against NATO forces across Europe. Their preferred doctrine was deep battle, striking deep into enemy territory with overwhelming force. Today, that vision is largely irrelevant. The Ukrainian front has more in common with World War I than with the blitzkrieg of mid-century military theory. Russia is now fighting a static war, one characterized by dug-in positions, small unit tactics, and limited mobility. It's in this environment that North Korean light artillery has become unexpectedly valuable. Small-caliber mortars and light multiple rocket launchers, while technically outdated, are ideally suited to the demands of trench warfare. Though these systems offer limited firepower compared to their heavier counterparts, their portability and ease of use make them effective tools in the current conflict. The influx of such weapons, despite their modest capabilities, may be helping to fill a critical gap in Russia's military toolkit. Pyongyang's role in the conflict has therefore grown more strategically significant. The war in Ukraine has become a testing ground not only for NATO's modern technology but also for North Korea's older but practical arsenal. While these weapons lack the sophistication of Western equipment, their appearance on the battlefield underlines the degree to which both sides are exhausting their resources and adapting their tactics accordingly. The Russian military may not have initially anticipated turning to North Korea for this class of weaponry, but the realities of war have changed. In this prolonged and punishing conflict, even low-tech arms, when properly deployed, can make a difference. And although the tools may be humble, their contribution to Russia's war effort cannot be underestimated.